At this point in the proceedings, I need to put in a disclaimer. If you do or follow any of my guidelines on removing the governor, you're invalidating your warranty. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. I'm not saying you should do it. The valve spring and the governor modification is entirely done at your own risk. You choose a safe way to do it. So there we go. There's my disclaimer. Have fun. After the weekend's racing, the modifications begin. Now we know what we need to do. Taking the engine cover off, taking the torque converter off, disconnected the chain, disconnected the electrics for the engine for the kill switch, disconnected the throttle cable, it's hanging over the side. I'm draining the oil out at the moment, it's coming out nice and clean. And I need to remove that little troublemaker there. That's been costing me probably 10 seconds a lap. So we've got that bit there. I'm going to take that off. There's an R-clip, cut it down, it should fit through. Take the bolts out of here when the oil's drained. Get the side cover off, and then I'll probably just tilt the cart on its side, because with it still being in the chassis, it'll probably hold it a bit more securely than I've seen a lot of people wrestling with the engines on a workbench because it's not clamped down or held securely. So I've taken the exhaust off, the fuel tank off. That gives me access to everything. I'll lift this side of the cart up so the oil, if there's anything left, doesn't continue to drain out all over the floor, make a mess. And I'll be attempting to get the governor out on this episode. Wish me luck. I've taken the spark plug out, and just a little side note, we've got a light brown on the spark plug, so with that bigger carburettor I went for the biggest jet that came with it, and that appears to be burning. It's not lean, that's the main thing, it's not going to burn a piston out, so that's looking quite good. We've got as far as taking the side cover off, and the gasket came off with the cover with no issues whatsoever. We look inside here. The timing wheel started to come out a little bit when I took the side cover off, so I'll just push that back in, and I've lined up the timing dots on there. We can see the governor at the back up here, and the rod that needs cutting down to come out. The rod that comes out of there, is that focused on that? So I need to take that pin out, cut that off, push that rod down. I'm going to have to rotate the engine over so the counterbalance on the crank is clear of the governor, so I can pull the governor out somehow. Things are going quite well so far. Fingers crossed. So there's the poke it up. Up, so about ventilate. So I've got my hand underneath. I'm holding that as high up as I can. There we go. I think piano fingers would have helped. Right, so now been told that, take that out of the way. I've put the rag here to stop any sparks going into the back of the alternator area, and hopefully that, oh, there we go, it's come off. Now that, we got it. It's actually got a washer. You've got to make sure you get the washer out and the washer is balanced on the end of it, so that was lucky. So that shaft has a washer, the washer has to come out, otherwise it's catastrophic engine failure. That's easier to destroy your engine than it is to say catastrophic. So inside we can see the governor there. Allegedly it has a plastic cap here that needs removing without dropping it inside, and behind there there's a washer. Trying to do it so you can see in the camera with one hand. That needs removing. Now the next bit is to pull this off, and there's a little spring wire there which is supposedly an absolute bugger to get off, but if we can grab this with a pair of mole grips and lever it, we should be able to pull it off, or go in there with a screwdriver and tap around, or a chisel, tap around, destroy the plastic so it comes off. We shall see. I'm not sure if you can see very well, but we've got a pair of mole grips here, a small pair of mole grips that are clamped onto the wheel in there, and then I've got a block of wood across there to protect the engine. And the plan is to give this spanner a tap with a hammer, and the mole grips have let go. Okay, this is, don't try this at home, children. I'll go in to hook the slide hammer onto the end of the mole grips. Gone. No, it's not gone, but it's feeling a bit wobblier. So, I'm juggling everything here, and this that felt like it went. Somewhat felt like it went. Yeah, that's gone. We just need to... Oh, I just felt the spring washer, which you need to retain, or you need to make sure it comes out the engine. I just felt it whistle past my arm when it went doing. And there's the governor. There's a success. There's a washer at the back there that also needs to come out. I think I'm going to get a magnet for that. I don't think I've got a magnet in the box here. No, nip to the garage. Back with a magnet. A different camera angle. Okay. Getting this washer out is proving one of the most troublesome parts of the whole operation. It was stuck on with the oil inside. See if I can get my hand in there now. Oh, I'm pushing it backwards. We get a pair of pliers in there now. And there we go. That washer was a bugger. So just to recap, I'd gripped the wheel like that and slide hammered it out. We're at the point of putting it back together now. We've tapped and put a bolt in that hole where the governor came out the top and connected to the carb. We've removed the governor, as I've shown you there, with the mole grips and the side and the slide hammer. The governor fits at the top there in the centre of the screen. There was a washer there that was stuck in with the suction of the oil and was a bit of a bugger to get out, but we got that out. On the top edge, up there, that hole up there, that's where the governor came through, which is now sealed up. I've cleaned any swarf out of it. The oil down the bottom. See there, the oil doesn't look too bad. It's probably done about 2 or 3 hours running, so I'm just going to give that a mop out with realigned the timing marks. Don't know if you can see there. There are actually 2 dots. There we go, you can see the 2 dots. So I'm going to line them up and pop the side cover back on. And then we've got to sort out the throttle linkage. And we should be in with a shout next time. There we are, governor removed, hole blocked up, and we're ready to reassemble. It's probably taken me about an hour and a half after the initial strip down, an hour and a half, and most of that was faffing around with the cameras to get the footage for you. So it's about an hour job once you get it down to this stage. I've removed the governor, and now the next job, swap the valve springs, and these are the new ones, 18-pound valve springs. So we're going to change these valve springs. Not done it before. I'm going to use got it on top dead centre. I lined it all up before I put the cover back on, and I'm going to use the Allen key down the spark plug to hold the valves up. On about valve clearances, I've been told you need to be able to rotate the push rods underneath the valves, but not really have any play in them. So they just need to be tensioned up just like that. We've got a 10mm, what's the other side? So it's a 14mm nut with a 10mm lock nut on it. That is a bit tight. There we go. Just at a time. Just need to slacken it off far enough to clear the push rod. Let's have a little look at that. There's not much pressure on them. Like when I did a Ducati once, and the valve spring pressure, I couldn't get valve compressors on them, but the valve spring pressure was literally just fingers, because they're on desmodromic valves. Right, so that holds the valve up. Can't really see what I'm doing there. I might need a better torch or light in there, or a better position for the light for me to see. think I see. Right, so it looks like it's push it in and down. Oh, there we go. A little bit there just came off. What have we got here? Holding this in. Not sure. There we go. Right, so I've had to push that down. I'll take that out so we don't lose it inside the cylinder. So I don't know if you can see that very well. Try and hold it in front of the camera. Yeah, so that goes down and out that way. It's like a slot. Well, that valve spring out the way so I don't get mixed up. That valve spring in there. Hold the valve back up again. Oh, there we go. It's gone back on easy and it came off. Tap a couple of times to make sure it's staying in the right place. Rotates freely. Next up there. So pop shaft rotates freely. Just a little bit of float on it that should be taken up. No plate, and the bolts locked up. I'll do the same with this one. I know what I'm doing. I'll be a bit better with this one. Slacken that off. Pull that to one side. Take that back out again so it doesn't fall inside. That didn't seem to have a little cap in the end of it. Well, that's weird. It had a cap on one side, but it didn't seem to. I can't see anything down there. That was weird. One side seems to have a little cap on the valve, the other side hasn't. There we go. These valve springs are quite a bit stronger than the original ones. Just having a little look round. It was really weird that, because that side hasn't got a cap on it. And that side has got a cap on it. Well, I didn't see or hear anything drop or move inside. And nothing is under there either. Oh, I'll put it back together, finger tight. Right, that's all back together. What's strange is behind there, on the left hand one, there's like a disc, and on the right hand one, there isn't. Now, I didn't feel or see anything drop off, so I'm not sure. I'm going to double check all that on the internet, see what's going on. I'm hoping these two springs, they come in pairs. I only need one. They're from KP UK, Car Parts UK on eBay. They cost the grand total of £3.60 including postage, Royal Mail 48 hour. And these little springs will enable me to use the old throttle linkage and connect direct to the throttle linkage where the governor connects onto the throttle butterfly. So hopefully this little £3.60 fix will save me sorting out a whole new throttle linkage. I'll show you this before I put the fuel tank on so you've got better visibility on it. What I've done is drilled a 332 hole through there. I put the spring onto there. I pulled it this way, that way, as far as I could, so it went against the tick over stop down there. Then I guesstimated where the hole would be in there. I drilled a 332 hole in there, took all this linkage off again, poked it through there, put it back on again, and that looks like it's pretty much perfect. We've got tick over adjustment there at that end, and it goes all the way to the stop the other way. I've got to go to the front of the car and adjust the travel screw on the throttle there, so I'm not overstressing the carburetor, and I can't give it I can't push too hard on it. I'm not using the throttle butterfly as the throttle stop, I'm using the pedal stop as the throttle stop, so that needs adjusting. But yeah, that little spring, £3.70 was it for two of them, and that means I can use the existing linkage. All the stuff going from here across to the governor there has all been removed. The governor's been removed from inside. I just now need to connect up the fuel tank, set the fuel tank back on, tighten it all down, cable tie that cable so it's out the way of the not affecting that. Put a secondary spring on this to because you need two throttle springs on it, so we've got one there, that one, and we need a second one. I'll put a second one yeah, from there, probably drill a hole through a pin or put a little bracket on there, put a bracket on there, put a secondary spring on there like I had before. So that's a big thumbs up for a nice easy way of doing that. Well, that's a lot quicker. Unfortunately, it dug in on the side, and we now have one very pronounced buckle, and the spokes were pulled through. A couple of spokes. It went into a slide, and then it just dug in because the grass is a bit soft, and stopped suddenly and buckled the back wheel. But on a plus side, it goes really well. So we'll have that as success. Despite the wrecked rear wheel, I'm still having that as a success. This looks like it's been the worst golf fist in the history. Divots everywhere. Right, what's happened is over there we've got Mr. Mole. Down here, when you look at this divot, you can see the remnants of Mr. Mole's hole. So what I assume I've done, I've come round there, and the mole holes are just below the surface because we're not far off bedrock, and it's taken the thin layer of soil off his hole. I've dropped into it, caught the edge, buckled the wheel. So it's the mole's fault, but I'm still having that as a success. Mole, I'm coming to get you. So I think this proves beyond all doubt that the governor was the issue. The state of tune I've got on that engine, which I've told you before, the bigger carb, filters and exhaust, and removing the governor was the bit that made the difference. Yeah. with there we are again. There's another mole hole under there. So instead of sliding around, we had quite a bit of rain last night, so it's gone a bit soft. And instead of sliding around, I've been hitting shallow mole hills and broken the wheel. Can't wait for the next event. Hopefully there's no moles on the field. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. If you're building a kart, crack on and do it. This is absolutely fantastic. Complete game changer, removing that that governor. It's a beast now. And I'll see you on the track next year. I'll be waiting. There we go. Divot's back in. She's never gonna know. Wife's never gonna know. So see you all soon.